Hello everyone. So I was thinking to do a little kind of walkthrough through my digital Christmas card. This is the final product. You basically can build a little Christmas tree, or you can watch how agents are building the Christmas tree for you. Those snowballs are supposed to be the agents, and they are kind of building this tree on this platform. I have a couple of parameters here as well, so I can increase the speed, for example, just for the sake of demonstrating this. This is pretty much how the procedure goes. So they're building up these trunk pieces as well as branches, which also spawn these ornaments if the parameter is ticked. And yeah, okay, there's a little bug I can see, but yeah, it's not too bad. Alright, so how did I do that? If I go into my Unity project, so this is pretty much the initial scene. I've created this kind of boulder rock combination from different assets, as well as this snow cover kind of I've modeled in Maya, Autodesk Maya, and then basically for the scene I needed two different light sources. As you can see, like there's an orange kind of light coming from the side, and there's kind of a bluish light coming from the left side, and pretty much the post-processing effects you can see in the actual scene are attached to, of course, to the camera, and the camera is rotating with that lighting kind of setup around the boulder, where everything spawns. And so for the parameters, I have a timescale as I showed you. It's basically changing the Unity timescale from 1.0 to 3. And then there's a max step count. So basically for the agents to have a higher count, so they're building a larger tree depending on how much patience you have for this to run. And then you can change also the number of actual agents building stuff, the trunk agent specifically, and the branch agent. And as I showed already, you can turn on and off the ornaments, as well as vertical trunk forks. Maybe I can show that again in my browser. So if I turn off the vertical trunk, you won't have this kind of forks. You will have kind of a straight kind of tree. Okay, let's see. So yeah, it's struggling a bit, but eventually it's coming together. All right. Cool. So yeah, as I said, no vertical forks for the trunk. All right. Yeah, this seems to kind of happen sometime. I'm not sure why, but anyway, that's how it is right now. The current state of this sketch. Cool. All right. So going back to the Unity file. What else maybe I should show is that there is a trunk building school. So trunk school is a different scene. If I save that for a sec, it's basically a scene where I showcase how the agents were learning to build a trunk, right? So if I can also go back to my Chrome and say go to the trunk building school, you can see the agents are just learning how to pick up trunk pieces and kind of stack them on top of each other, right? That's what they're doing. And they're basically they're learning to stack those trunks, and that's been saved in one specific neural network. So in the end of the day, you have two types of agents: trunk building agents, which have a specific neural network, and a branch building agent, which is just attaching branches to the trunk. So if I go to the branch building school, you can see there's already a random kind of trunk coming together. So I created a little function which creates this random sized trunks, and those branch building agents, they just pick up branches and they attach them to the trunk. And so basically they get higher rewards for if they place branches at a higher position of the tree. So maybe I can show you a little bit what the observations are of the agents. Going back to Unity, let me just, okay, this is the trunk building school, so let me show you that. Just hitting play. Yeah, so the gizmo is a bit large. Let me turn that down a bit. So yeah, so the trunk agents, they're colliding. Let me go over here. They seem to be more successful. So they have an observation of the highest point of the tree, right? That's a vector. And they have an observation vector to the closest newly spawned trunk, right? And then, of course, an observation is their own position. So if I click on one of these guys here, agent container, they also, I'm not sure if I can show you that right now, but they also have, yes, ray perceptions. So they actually know where they are in the environment. Maybe I can also show the colliders. Yeah, so there's quite a big box. Sorry, this is kind of cumbersome, but they have kind of this is their kind of area of action, let's say, right, where they can actually fly around and try stuff out. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Let me show you for the branch building agent, branch school. All right. And I deliberately or purposely used a neural network which was just trained with like 500,000 steps or something. So they're kind of struggling. And how I said, like, this is a scene where you show, yeah, how they were training, so to say, in the middle, in the process of it. So I didn't want them to be super perfect. So again, they have the highest location of the tree, as well as a vector to the kind of the root, or the trunk root. Yeah, that's pretty much that. So maybe it's worth to actually talk about quickly how these things are actually attaching to each other. There's basically a spring which is kind of combining them, and there's in this specific case, there's a green and a purple kind of empty game object, like a minus and plus, which is pulling them together once they're in a specific zone. So maybe I can show you that. Trunk. So this is the snap zone. Let me show you. They have a snap zone, and once they collide, the branches are basically starting to try to find a empty game object, which is basically an interface object, I called them. And once the agent comes with a new branch and is colliding with this kind of sphere, it tries to figure out, yeah, that's gone now. It tries to figure out a place where it can, like a spot, an empty spot where it can place a branch, and it will attach that branch there. Yeah, so it just checks for the closest not occupied kind of interface object, and it starts to attach it with a spring. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Cool. And of course, this is how I said, this is for the actual scene, so to say, you know, to look at, but the actual training environment looks a bit less polished, but quite similar. So this is where the actual training would happen. Cool, yeah, I really enjoyed to create this kind of project and to start playing around also with a bit more enhanced kind of graphic style, and yeah, I really liked it. And the agents probably they might need a little bit more improvement. They're not super seeming or seamless. They're not working seamlessly every single time, but most of the times at least I tried, and there are quite some cool outcomes actually. So if you wanna build your own little tree or test it out for a second, I will add the link to the application in the description box below. You just need a browser which is able to do WebGL 2.0. I encourage you, and just gonna end the video with one last try, so to say, to create a tree with 5,000 steps, which should be quite a large tree. Let's see how that goes. So yeah, let me know what you think, and thank you for watching. See you next time.